Hey, it is time for our daily dose of some of those good feels here on X Country 1065. Our good feels is always brought to us by our friends over at Riverside Healthcare, putting well within reach. So last night I had an opportunity to go to the Cubs game. The Cubs didn't win. That was okay. It was still a beautiful, beautiful night in the city. And after the game, we're walking back and he said, let's stop here. Let's stop here, have a beer, and just sit and chat for a little bit. It was one of those nights you just didn't want to be over. If you had those, even though it's a school night, even though you're a ways from home, you just don't want it to be over quite yet. So as we were sitting in the back of this bar, having a beer, we noticed that the tables of younger people around us, you know what they were doing? This may be surprising. They were playing board games, card games. They're playing games. And I realized I liked it. They were laughing, having just a really good time. And it was the kind of time my mother or grandmother would approve of. So I started thinking about it, and we did, the friends that were gathered did. We tie certain friends and family to certain games, don't we? And memories of playing those games. In our group, there was someone whose mother is a Scrabble champion, hands down. And legend has it she was playing an invented version of Wordle way before it was a thing. So you have all this memory with this family that's tied to a game. And in my family, there's all sorts of different variations that we've had. We've invented, or someone invented, a version of the game Bolgerdash where you make up definitions for words you don't know. And we just called it the dictionary game. You looked up words in the dictionary that no one knew. And you made up definitions to them. We have a different version of Uno in our family where my sister allows subtle cheating. You can cheat in certain ways as long as you don't get caught. It just makes it a little bit more fun. And thinking more about games and how family reunions in my family, there were members of our family that were deaf, that felt really included when it involved a cribbage board. I think about my grandmother who wasn't able to be very active with her grandkids, but was able to sit at a table for hours and play cards. And I think about awkward high school students who, there's a lot of awkwardness, I know, as someone who was a high school student. And there was some comfort in playing euchre because you didn't have to talk. You didn't have to be embarrassed by your crush walking by. And the more I thought about games and I thought about the people that I was surrounded by, I thought about sometimes maybe we don't do it as much as we used to. And it may have something to do with the magical screens that we all have in our pockets that are easy distractions instead of a game that brings us together. And I realized that it really, as much as some people have strengths in certain games or others, it really isn't about the game, is it? It's about having an excuse to be together and be around the table and to laugh and to share experiences again. Our good feels is always brought to us by our friends over at Riverside Healthcare, putting well within reach.